Okay, here we are. It's hear a little noise in the background there. Several things in the back. Didn't realize it picked up that much. Hold on a second. Maybe that's a little better. Yeah, it is all better. Okay, it's Sunday. It's May 26th, and happy Memorial Day. It's an important day in our little family because, we have some veteran families. You can see Marilyn over there on the left. That's today, taken at 9:16 a.m. They're on the beach. Hopefully they're under an umbrella now. And Marilyn is with her friend, Lynn Ward Field. I think she's still got Field in there. She used to be married to Westfield, who was incidentally the president of the bank I used to work for. Oh my God, crazy thing. And Jerry Gilliam was the chairman, and he told me, he gets me aside, elbow, shoulder to shoulder, and he says, keep an eye on Wes. I said, wait. He's the president. I'm just a lonely senior vice president, I think, or whatever the heck my title was. I said, you keep an eye on him. That's your job. No, Jimmy, you keep an eye on him. And once in a while, he brings loans into the loan committee, which, maybe are not as good as they should be. I said, oh, really? Oh, boy. I was like, I was part of the loan committee. And I think I was chairman of the loan committee, actually, for a while. And sure as hell, I'm out on an appointment, and my assistant calls me. She says, Jaimito, you got to get back here right away. Wes is bringing in Swab Shoe, $2 million loan to get approved, and he knows you're not here. I said, I'll be right there. Tell him to, take a break and get coffee or something. Delay whatever's going on in there. Get creative. So she did. I got back. I was just a couple miles away, and it was like 10:30 in the morning. So commuter traffic was done, and oh my God, I went in there and I just pretended like everything was normal. Had my little portfolio. I said, "Okay, what's the next order of business here?" I should have gotten an A+ for performance. Anyway, we didn't do swap shoes. Anyway, so there's Marilyn. She's at the beach. Happy Memorial Day. It's 10:23 in the morning. And, I saw this little thing in the, where is it? There it is. Is it okay to ask someone if they're on Ozempic? Well, let me tell you. Ozempic is a drug that was put through the FDA, 5 years ago, 8 years ago. It was developed like 10 years ago. There's been millions of people that have used Ozempic. But they're basically people that have high blood sugar, like real high blood sugar. Like their A1C is, like 10 or 11 or 12 or 14, which is, an unsustainable number. That means their blood sugar is 3, 4, 5, 600. At that level, organs won't survive well. You'll get peripheral problems. You have foot amputations. Your blood sugar cannot be up that high. Anyway, so they came up with Ozempic, and it really controls blood sugar. Like, woo, it's really amazing. I'm using. I've been on Ozempic for 5 or 6 months, and it's miraculous. You know, I used to take insulin shots 3 times a day. I take 0 insulin shots 3 times a day, and see if I can pull up my my blood sugar thingy. Oh, it's on my iPhone for sure. Let's connect this up so we can see what's going on. There we go. So now you can see me over here on this side. We'll get that over there, and let's check out my blood sugar. There we go here, and then we touch Libre. There it is. It's at 140. So my sensor, I got this little red notice in the bottom here. My sensor ends in 13 hours. So 10 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. tonight. My sensor's in the back of my arm. Oh, God. They only last for 14 days, exactly, to the hour. Let's see if I can find that on here. Let's go here. I know what it looks like. Let's just try Libre. There it is. Libre link up. Bingo. There we go. There. Now you can see it. 140. It's clear on here. I'm trying to see it on this iPhone screen. Anyway, it's a this sensor is really quite good. I get it on, it's a prescription. You got to order by prescription, So the drug companies get their pound of flesh. Insurance pays for some portion of it. I got to pay for some portion of it. I just got to notice that Twitter just left. This is a simulcast of 3 of the social networks. No, 2. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, the most reliable, and Twitter Live, which comes and goes. And it may be because my internet connection, I checked it out, was really quite spectacular, actually. So, anyway, so happy Memorial Day. Marilyn's got all the, the decorations set around the house to make it nice. Because her dad was a Marine. Her mother was a Marine. So my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, Marilyn's mother and dad, met when they were Marines, a long time ago, in the 40s, presumably. And, and that's where Marilyn came from. Anyway, so I entered Marilyn's world of influence back, let's see, 1980, February 19th, exactly, 1817. She was in a class. She was in a, this class thingy. I was a facilitator, and she was a participant. I'm sorry to say, I didn't notice Marilyn that much. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really recall when I noticed. Well, I know I noticed Marilyn when the class was over. because we were at the Rivergate Hotel. They flew in like 40 people from all over the state of Florida. Royal Trust Bank did. And Marilyn was one of those people picked by her supervisor. And then there were supervisors all over the state that picked, their people. And those people were considered, the participants were considered ones that were going to run their departments 5 or 10 years from now. And us as facilitators, we're going to, show them around the corporate ropes, so to speak, and how to deal in a corporate environment as a manager of a department or of a whole bank for that matter. Yeah. So anyway, when the thing was all done, some of you folks have already heard this 20 or 30 times. Anyway, when the class was over, it was a 5-day thing. People flew in from all over the state of Florida, and there were 40 of them. And we had 5 or 6 dignitaries that flew in from Canada. Montreal was the headquarters of Royal Trustco. And so at the end of the 5 days, so now it's Friday, afternoon, 4 o'clock. And so we all met in Daphne's, which was like a cocktail lounge for the Rivergate Hotel. And we shut it down. In other words, whoever organized this thing got a hold of the management of the hotel and says, Daphne's is walled off from the public, for the entire evening. And that's from 4 in the afternoon until 11 at night or something. I think, all night. Anyway, so they handed out, we got everyone together in Daphne's and they're sitting around the tables, and people up front with microphones were speaking about how marvelous everything was, and, the great feedback they got with the people like me, the facilitators, on how good and worthwhile this was. It was expensive, They flew people in, they put them up in a nice hotel, Miami Airport Hotel, and, breakfast, lunch, dinner, airfare back and forth, and staying in a nice hotel for a week. It's pretty, I don't know what, we could do some fast math, but let's not bother. Anyway, so it's Friday at 4 o'clock. They handed out diplomas, till 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then everyone broke up and had a cocktail party. They served food, finger food, so to speak. You could sit down with a knife and fork and cut things, up and eat with a knife, fork, and spoon if you want to. But, cocktail shrimp and, little roll-ups and croquetas. And it was really quite a nice cocktail party. So, at airport, flight 2317 to Jacksonville, please gather your belongings and go to the shuttle bus. So, you hear something like that, and everybody's in the Jacksonville market. They would huddle, 4 or 5 of them, and they go over to the shuttle bus, and, so 7 o'clock at night. Those of you that came from the Orlando market, flight 2367 is now boarding, and please go to the shuttle bus and we'll take you to your gate. And they'd get their belongings and they go on the shuttle bus and they get taken over to their gate. Well, the party kept contracting in size, so you had like 60 people, then it was 50 people, then it was 40 people, then it was 30 people, then it was 20 people, on and on and on. And lo and behold, it comes to about 8:30 at night, and there are no more shuttle buses. And there are like 7 people left in the place, as far as participants and facilitators. And so I'm sitting there with Karen Brown and Jill Thagard. One was in charge of Treasury. Jill was in charge of Treasury. And Karen Brown was in charge of human resources for the whole Florida company, and I was one of the participants, facilitators. So the three of us are chatting. I'm sitting at table 4. The seat over to my right was vacant, and all of a sudden 4 people gets up from the other side of the room, and 3 of them walk out the room, and Marilyn comes over, and we all get up, and she sits down in the one vacant seat, at the table where I was with Jill Thackert and Karen Brown. So now Marilyn is there, and hi Marilyn, how you doing? I've seen you. You're always coming over here to the 4th floor, delivering packages to Jerry Gilliam. I've never really spoken to you before. And how nice it is to see you. You must have been hiding in the back of the room for all these classes. I didn't really, welcome. I'm glad you were in the thing. Did you like it? She said, oh, yeah. So, and I said, well, you don't seem to be too enthusiastic about it. Oh, I'm going through a divorce and all this kind of stuff, and I just, got my final papers. And I said, oh, really? Well, I'll drink to that. I'm going through the same thing. Papers already filed, and, court date is set, and, she's already taken off to Virginia, She was taking history lessons from the history teacher in the place where she was teaching biology, and coincidentally, and she took off with my 2 kids and went to Virginia, and I'm here by my lonesome, and so Bob Curtis said, you got to teach on this thing. I already told Jerry you're going to do it. I said, Bob, do I have to? He said, yes, you have to. And under your circumstances, it's better that you're doing this than, feeling sorry for yourself. I said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I don't feel sorry for myself, but I'll do it because you're right. What else have I got to do? So I did it. And her boss did the same thing to her. Yeah, go take the class. That's good for you. Besides, you may be running the department in 5 years from now. She grumbled, and she attended apparently and liked it, and rather be somewhere else. So anyway, so we talked, and the 4 of us talked, and then it became like 10:15. So it was like 8:45, 10:15. So about an hour and a half went by, and Jill Thaggart and we call it Karen Brown. They look at each other and they say, "Well, Jimmy and Marilyn seem to be getting along pretty good. Why don't we go home?" So they get up and they said, "Hey guys, if you don't mind, we're gonna go." So they get up and left, and we said goodbye. And I said, "Marilyn, would you like to?" And that's your wine glasses down here at the bottom. You'd like to have one more glass to carry on the conversation? She said, "Absolutely. Let's have another glass of wine." So we were drinking probably red wine or white wine, I forget which. I think I saw red wine in her glass. So anyway, so we kept chatting from 10:15 till like 12 o'clock. So that's 2 more hours, just one-on-one talking about things. And I mean, she was a delightful, bright, picture in my ordinary, not so happy life at the moment. So this is like Friday night. It's like 12 o'clock. So I walk her out to her car, and she didn't want me to walk her out to her car. So we get in the aisle where her car was. She says, "Jimmy, can you not take me all the way to my car? I'm just right down there, about 6 cars away." I said, "No, I'll take you to your car." So she didn't want me to see that she's driving, this old brown, what I call an old brown potato. It was a big old brown station wagon. It was an ugly damn thing. I said, "My God, this is so modern." She laughs. She said, "Well, that's why I wanted to leave you down the end, because I didn't want you to say." And I said, "Don't worry about it. Come on." get in your car, lock your doors, and how about if I call you at 10 o'clock and on Monday morning, and we'll have lunch on Monday. Can we do that? She said, yeah, let's have lunch on Monday. So, gave her a little quick kiss goodnight, and she locked her doors, and she drove home, and I drove around in circles. I don't know what the hell I did. Anyway, so Monday morning at 10, I was looking at my watch. I said, all right, it's exactly 10. I'm going to wait 10 seconds because I don't know how geosynchronized her clocks are. And this is 1980, so it was before cell phones. So, anyway, so 10 o'clock in the morning, I called her, and I said, let's go to Charade. I'll pick you up at the bottom of your building. I drive a white Mercedes 300 diesel, nice, clean, white 300D, with a blue interior, deep blue interior. I'll see you at noon sharp. And I called her at 10. I'll see you at noon sharp. So, of course, I called ahead, made sure I had a reservation. I knew the people because we went there often. We, meaning Bob Curtis and myself and Tony Romeo, we'd have lunch every once in a while. It was one of my favorite spots. It's definitely, I don't know, it's kind of a modern deco, a little bit of a girly place, I mean, it's okay. I mean, a lot of businessmen had lunch there, but, it wasn't like a sports bar. It was a nice, elegant, Coral Gables. It was an old house, actually, and they took out a lot of the interior. They had like trees growing up through the middle that go up through the first and second story height, and it went up, must have gone up 3 stories. I guess you look up and the palm trees growing up in the middle of this restaurant. It was a house. I don't know how they got the tree in there, but I forget what they call the tree, but it wasn't a royal palm. It was, like a tall cabbage palm kind of a thing. Big. So I said, I want table 72 up there on the second level. She said, where it was, said, okay, we'll write you down. I said, I want that table right there. Is that 72 or 74? She said, I think it's 74. I said, okay, write Jim Wilson on that. And I'm going to come in with a young lady, and 2 of us are going to sit up there for, probably an hour and a half lunch. So don't be in a hurry. Give me a good waiter, a patient waiter. So I picked her up, and we went up there, and we had it was perfect because we sat up on the second level. We could look right down over the whole place. So we were like stealth. It was a big dark secret that we were an item, and we became an item within about 3 days. I mean, I'm telling you, we went to lunch, that whole week, every day for lunch, and a couple of nights for dinner, and we were in tight. I mean, we were an item, as simple as that. It was love story made in heaven. Oh my God. Phew. 1980, February 1980. So by March 1st, we were an item. But we were an undisclosed item. I don't know why we thought that was to be a big secret, but she was an officer over in International, and I was an officer over in, real estate department. So I said, Bob, Marilyn Reed over there, Marilyn Murray, She's just gone through a divorce. I've just gone through a divorce. It turns out because of your class thing you made me do, which, God bless you, because, if it wasn't for meeting Marilyn, it was a little painful, but I did it. And I think everyone liked what I did. And, the whole team of 8 of us did, I think, a pretty good job with 40 people from all over the state that didn't know each other. And, thank God I taught high school math for a while. This was a lot easier to teach. And everyone did good, we had a good time. I was, a happy guy and this and that, put on the teaching face. Well, Bob, thank you so much for putting me in that scenario, because I met Marilyn and she is spectacular. And we are now, we're an item. We're kind of like holding hands and stuff. It's really a sight to behold. I didn't even know who this person was, 3 months ago, and we're an item. I said, Bob, it's a serious thing, but we're going to keep it, under. We're not telling anybody, except she's going to talk to McCluskey, her boss, and I'm talking to you, and we're not talking to anybody else. We're talking to nobody else. Not Tony Romeo, who I work with here, not anybody. We just want to just enjoy ourselves for a while, because she's very popular in the bank, and I'm probably lesser known because she was a starlet. I was just a real estate guy over there, 35-year-old real estate guy, and she was, she's cover girl, stunning. I don't know how else to put it. She could have been on, since then I've been a professional photographer, and I've taken, 1 million shots or more. And, I have an eye for, just beautiful, stunning looking people, It's nice to look at, really attractive people and see that they're stunning. And there are a few, you walk around and, of course, South Florida, you've got a lot of attractive people, but there are a few that are just stunning. Like you put them on the cover of a magazine and you'll sell a lot of magazines if you can figure out what you're going to write about. Usually has to be a story behind the stunning young lady. Anyway, I got a couple of pictures of Marilyn, they're, fully dressed, and you just look at that picture and say, God, what movie was she in? That's exactly what you would say. Anybody I show this picture to say, my God, what movie was she in? That's exactly what you would say. I mean, she was that stunning. Happy. Oof, happy person. Very happy. Oh, God. Whew. Anyway, so that's my Marilyn story, and you can see her right there, all happy with her friend Lynn Ward Field. Remember I said Field? Her husband, coincidentally, was the president of the bank that I was working with Bob Curtis and, Marilyn, when we were doing the training and all this kind of stuff. And somehow or other, right about the time when I started with Royal Trust, 78 or whatever, 70, 77, 76, maybe. Yeah, 76. I was at Barnett Bank in 75, and I was at Royal Trust Bank in 76. May, actually. First week in May. Or in May. Second week in May, maybe. So sometime whenever I started Royal Trust in 76, the president of Royal Trust in Miami, where I was working, he resigned the week I started. Not because of me, just because of other things. And he went to some bank in Naples or something, over on the West Coast. And he was a well-known banker in Miami. It was like really very, shocking thing that he resigned from the bank, because he was really very highly guarded, and World Trust didn't want him to go. I mean, in a big way, they didn't want him to go, but he left. And the people that I know knew him, and it was, you know, one of the reasons why I went to World Trust is because he was the president of the bank. Well, he didn't get fired. He resigned and left and went to, run a bigger bank. I guess, I don't know, over in Naples, I think. And, so they brought in another, they advertised, like for a year. And they couldn't find anyone to fill the spot. It was God, it took forever. I don't know why. Miami was doing real well. And, all the good candidates were, in other jobs. Didn't need jobs. Well, Westfield came in from somewhere, and they hired him as president of the bank. Westfield. So I ended up playing racquetball with Westfield. And every once in a while, we'd play like twice a week. He was a big 6'7". He was really tall. I am not so tall. I mean, he was like a foot. I was like 5'8". He was like 6'8". So in a racquetball court, he could stretch his arms and touch both walls. I was, so it's like David and Goliath, and we were like equally matched, so to speak. And I was, small and fast, and he was big and, big. He didn't have to take a lot of steps to reach the ball. Anyway, so we put on some really strenuous. We'd play racquetball for like an hour and a half, and it was really a hell of a workout. And then I remember going in the showers, and because we were sweating up a storm, so I turned on the cold water. I swear to God, forget hot water, cold water, and I would just stand under that faucet, cold, shower, cold water, just right over the top of my head, all the way down my body, just to cool my. It was like steam coming off my body. I mean, it could have been. I really noticed that, but I was very hot, and I swear to God, I had to stand under that cold water for like 30 minutes. Wesley called over and says, "Are you done yet?" I said, "Well, not quite." So I need 5 more minutes to cool down. So we'd be, because we had to dress up and go to the bank. I had to get to the bank at 8, so it was like 7:40, and I'm still, under the cold water in the shower. I said, "I'll be quick." So, so I get out of the shower and dry off real quick, and put on all the things that you need to put on. Some, all the smell goods and the don't smells, and so thank God I had a t-shirt, and then a shirt over the t-shirt. I said, well, I can't put a tie on yet because I'll be dripping over the tie. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to drive in a car, and I'll put this. I think I was driving. I said, I'll just wrap this towel over my neck, with my open white shirt. I'll bring my tie, of course, and my jacket, and I'll put the tie on, before I come into the building. But I'll let you off at the front door. I'll go around and drive, put it in the parking lot in the shade. And I turn that air conditioner on 0 and aimed it right at me, to try to cool my body down so I could put my tie on. I did. I mean, I sat in that car, for like 15 more minutes with the air conditioner on high blast, pointed right at me so I could try to cool down just a little bit more before I button up that shirt. So even then, I put the tie on, and I didn't button the top button. I left it open, but the tie was there. So when I got upstairs, I think we worked on the fourth floor, I think, and 4-story building. Up there where the president's office was. I was in the non-president's office down the hallway, on the way to the elevator. Glass glass office. I had a nice, I had a nice office. It's good enough. I didn't need a lot of room in an office. I had room for like 3 people could sit in front of me. And a credenza behind me. And, they did good. I did, I had an important spot in the bank. I made a lot of loans, and they were all good loans. That's the important thing. You always want to make good loans. The bad ones we don't want to do. Anyway, that's my Maryland Royal Trust story. So there's Westfield's wife. He's passed away. I don't know. And that's Maryland. They're both in their early 20s. We know that's one of those unmentionables. Anyway, so there's this topic. Is it okay to ask if someone's on Ozempic? Ozempic was designed for people that have high blood sugar. And like I said, I'm using Ozempic. I had my doctor, I said, prescribe this for me. I want to give this a shot. I mean, this is really quite a miraculous thing for blood sugar. So he did. So what they found out is that people that were doing this for their diabetic, problems, and if they were heavy, and most diabetic people were heavy, I wasn't particularly heavy. No, I mean, this is like now, back, I was in my 30s. I didn't have any of those kinds of problems. But when you get into your 70, I needed help with my blood sugar, so I decided to do, insulin shots. I'd give myself insulin shots. I didn't want to take pills. I said, I'd rather, inject natural insulin in my, subcutaneous, under the skin. And, I did that for a number of years. And then I got on Ozempic, don't need insulin anymore. What a wonderful thing that is. Instead of having to carry this stupid insulin pen around with you every time, 30 minutes before you eat, just take Ozempic and no problem. And, I lost a couple of pounds, but not a lot. I wasn't that overweight, little overweight, maybe 10 pounds overweight. So I went from 178 to 170. So, and next month I'll probably down to 168. So that's good, and you don't have to diet. You just naturally don't eat as much, which is nice. So that's Ozempic. Well, it turns out that this weight loss feature became very popular, and women started, hovering around Ozempic because they're overweight, and this was a way to lose weight. Not necessarily, because of their blood sugar, just because they had too many bags of potato chips. So, anyway, the FDA and everybody wasn't really excited about that. So the makers of Ozempic decided, let's rebrand Ozempic and create a thing called Wegovy. Wegovy. See that? Semaglutide? Whoops. S-E-M-A, glutide. 1 milligram. That's what I'm doing right now. But what I'm doing is Ozempic. Here's your Ozempic journey. So you start off with half milligram once a week. Every Saturday or Sunday, give my a little shot in the stomach, a little tiny needle, and really, 32 gauge needle. It's the diameter of 2 human hairs. So it's like a mosquito bite, but it doesn't hurt. So you give yourself a little mosquito bite, you push the end of the pen, it injects 1 milligram of semaglutide. Well, I started off at a half a milligram, then I get to 1 milligram. And that's your journey. It's 11 o'clock. So since there's such a uproar about, let's permit doctors to prescribe semaglutide, but we'll rebrand it as Wegovy. That way it's a different thing, although the chemical is the same. And, so Novo Nordisk, which is the manufacturer of Wegovy, it's also the manufacturer of Ozempic. They took it quickly through, probably took them 2 years instead of 5. And they got Wegovy approved. And doctors could prescribe it for weight loss patients. How nice is that? So, and this is recent. I mean, this is like 30 days ago, 40 days ago. Medicare approved Wegovy as a weight loss prescribable drug so that doctors all over the United States and anywhere else Medicare, reaches, you could get a prescription for semaglutide for the purposes of losing weight, not necessarily blood sugar. So Marilyn just got Wegovy prescription. I mean, it was a battle for about 3 or 4 weeks. The doctor didn't even know that Wegovy was available for weight loss. There it is, Wegovy. So she just, I don't know if it's available yet. They were working on it yesterday. They just got the prescription, I think, in the drugstore. Friday, maybe. Yeah. Because she got notice from her doctor saying, I have sent the prescription to Publix. So it'd probably take them 2 or 3 or 4 days to get it because it's so new in the United States. And it's so new that, Medicare and Humana as the insurer, anyway, so that's our insurance thing. So I'm taking Ozempic and she's taking Wegovy. And she's seen me do it, so she gets the joke. I said, Meryl, if you want me to, just pop this in you the first week or 2, once a week, and then you can do it. It's nothing to it. You won't feel anything. You can watch. You can not watch. You just give it a shot right, just on your left side of your stomach, just in a nice little fatty area. You won't even know it's happening, except you'll feel a little pressure. You won't feel any pain. So she's going to try Wegovy, see if it helps her, manage her weight. Easier than going on these stupid diets, because you don't really need a diet. We have isogenic, so she can take a shake, shake in the morning, and do Wegovy for each week. It lasts the whole week. Somehow or other cuts down your appetite a little bit. So it's not a starvation thing. It's very gentle. I had no symptoms whatsoever. Some people have symptoms. Their insides get, upset. But, 95% of the people that take it have no noticeable after effects or adverse drug events. ADR, adverse drug reactions. Yeah. All right, Wegovy. You've heard it here. Let's touch. Let's see if we can see the manufacturer's logo somewhere in this picture. Yeah, there it is right there. See? Novo Nordisk. That's the company that has invented it. They're the ones that took it through the FDA. It's used all over the world. And it's the exact same company that manufactures Ozempic. Ozempic is all over the TV being advertised. They're not spending any money that I know of advertising on TV because there's not enough product here yet. So until the supply chain fills up in the United States, so that Novo Nordisk, can keep up with the demand, there's no sense in advertising it. And then the people go to their doctors, and the doctors write prescriptions, and the pharmacies don't have it because the supply chain hasn't filled up with cases of Wegovy. That's it. Novo Nordisk. I mean, what a company. There you go. You just, you see that little zero there? You just dial the back of the pen up until it says 0.25 milligrams, when you start out. Then you go to 0.5 milligrams for the next month. And you do that for 2 months. And then you go to 1 milligram for the next 4 or 5 months, or 6 months, or 7 months. And then you can go to 1.7 milligrams. Slightly different upgrade. I noticed. You see, that's 1.7 in the background. You can't really see it. And then it goes to 2.4. In Ozempic, it goes from 1 to 2 milligrams. And that's the highest concentration of semaglutide that's available for Wegovy. Is 2 milligrams once a week. Subcutaneous means just inject it right under the skin. With this 4 millimeter needle, you just pop that in your pop that in your stomach, and you push the top of the pen. You can hear it injecting, and it'll click until the click stop, and you count to 5. You pull that pen out, stick your finger over the place where the injection site was, and just rub your skin a little bit. Just make sure you don't press real hard. Just rub it around a little bit, just like this. Not too hard, just so that there's a thing in your skin. It's called fibrinogen. And when you have any kind of a skin opening, like a cut or like a puncture, like an injection, fibrinogen forms all around, the site where you got this injury, and it seals up the skin. So you just don't keep bleeding. And there's an enzyme, it's called fibrinogen, that, forms over in all directions. And it covers up the skin so that bacteria won't get in there and you get sick with something else. And then, you get, after that, it dries up and you get a scab and what. But fibrinogen is the very first thing that happens to come across and seal up your skin. To close it up so, number one, you don't keep bleeding, in case you were bleeding. And also, it seals your system up, your skin. Your skin protects you from bacteria getting it inside your body. So fibrinogen seals that up. It's magical. I was a pre-med student, so I learned all those things a long time ago, and I haven't forgotten. All right, you heard about Wegovy. You've heard about the Jim and Marilyn story. It's 50 minutes into this thing. The Simulcast is now an only cast because the only one left is YouTube. The whole broadcast will be available, not live. YouTube is still live. And, I don't know what, it's all the internet connection. So if the internet speeds, I have a real fast connection. But every once in a while, these one or two of these carriers breaks off. I've never had them all break off, so I've always had a cast. The question is it simulcast? All right, it's 11, 10, 12 seconds, 13. You can see up in the upper corner here, there's a clock right there. 11, 10, 20, 21, 22 a.m. on May 26th. It's Memorial Day, and we are memorializing those that went into service for our country and never took their uniform off. They died with their uniform on. You know, a veteran is someone who came home or came somewhere and took their uniform off and put it in the closet. And they're veterans. But on this day, we memorialize those who served our country that died in the service of our country. So we remember them today. A little, where is that? Do I have that? It was a great little thing that Marilyn, let's look at recents. There it is right there. Yeah. See? There's a difference. I'm going to make this full screen. Producers, make that full screen. Remember, I have three people doing this broadcast. Me, myself, and I. So me is the producer. Myself is the one talking. And I wish I was, whatever. There's a difference. Armed Forces Day, for those who currently wear the uniform. Veterans Day is for those who used to wear the uniform. And Memorial Day is for those who never made it out of the uniform. Yep, those are the ones they're watching over. Okay? For those who never made it out of the uniform. Veterans Day is for those who used to wear the uniform and, you know, came out of the armed services and went home and went somewhere. But today is Memorial Day. We remember those who died in service. So hats off, hands on the heart for those. And we wish you, a marvelous holiday weekend. I'm going to give you a few seconds of the Epidemic Sound instrumental, or royalty-free background music, which I'll bring to the fore, and I'll stop talking. See you tomorrow, maybe.